The soft drip of rain against the window was the first thing Narin noticed. The day felt quiet, heavy, as though something important was waiting in the air. She slipped out of bed, careful not to wake Mio, who was sleeping beside her. Last night had been intense. The confessions, the trembling longing, the way Mio had pressed her soft lips to hers in that tender, searching kiss. But now, as daylight crept in, so did uncertainty. A moment later, Mio joined her, barefoot, her hair still damp from a shower. She brought 2 mugs of hot chocolate and offered one to Narin. "Thank you," Narin whispered. Their mugs clinked softly, and Mio leaned against the railing, her shoulder just barely touching Narin's. The silence stretched between them, thick with unspoken thoughts. Finally, Mio spoke. "I've been thinking." Narin's stomach tightened. "About what?" Mio took a shaky breath. "About us. About what happened last night. That kiss. It wasn't just a mistake. It felt like the most real thing I've ever felt." Narin's heart fluttered. She turned to look at Mio, whose face was so serious, so vulnerable. "Me too," she said softly. Mio nodded, closing her eyes for a second as if gathering courage. Then, she looked right at Narin. "But I'm scared," she admitted. "I don't want to lose what we have either," she said, her voice small. "Our friendship means the world to me." Narin looked down at her hands, completely torn between her caution and her longing. Mio reached out, her fingers intertwining with Narin's. The touch was so gentle, so comforting. They stood like that for a long moment, a quiet warmth passing between them. Finally, Narin looked up. "I want to try," she said, surprised by how steady her own voice sounded. "But I want us to promise something first, that will be honest. That we'll talk, even when it gets hard." A soft smile formed on Mio's lips. "I promise." They stayed on the balcony until the rain started to ease and the sky began to lighten. Mio stepped closer, her expression a little uncertain. Tentatively, she placed her hand on Narin's cheek, brushing back a stray lock of hair. Narin's breath caught in her throat. She leaned into the touch, closing her eyes, just waiting. Mio's other hand came up, and she leaned down into a gentle kiss. It was slow, sweet, and so full of longing. Narin responded, her fingers finding Mio's waist. The kiss deepened, and for a perfect moment, the rest of the world just disappeared. When they finally broke apart, both were a little breathless. Their foreheads rested gently against each other, and Narin felt a wave of pure joy wash over her. Mio whispered, "I love you." The words trembled on her lips in the pale morning light. Narin's heart felt like it would burst. She closed her eyes, savoring the moment, then whispered back, "I love you too." They held each other, quiet, but full of everything. It felt like a true beginning, like they were standing on the edge of something so fragile and beautiful. Later that day, they went to a little cafe, sharing a pastry and laughing over silly things, just like they always did. But something was different. There was a new warmth between them, charged with possibility. After lunch, they wandered down cobbled streets, sharing an umbrella. At one point, Mio stopped. She turned to Narin, gently took her face in her hands, and smiled a full, radiant smile before kissing her. It was just a light kiss, but it was so meaningful, so full of promise. Narin's heart hummed in her chest, until once again, she murmured, echoing the title of their own story, of their second chance at love.